Aside from Mora knives, which are made in Sweden, the ENZO Trapper was one of my first, if not the first knife from that region that I wanted to buy because I heard so many good things about it. It turned out to be the one knife that I don't use too often. And I'll tell you why, and I'm your uncle. The ENZO Trapper is a knife from the Finnish maker Brisa. They sell these knives and many other from other different brands. But the ENZO was so popular on the internet that I had to have it. So a few years ago I decided to buy this one. I hope you can see that. This is a stainless steel N690. It's the full flat version. As you know, if you watched my previous videos, I'm a big fan of full flat. They also had a Scandi version and a longer version, because this is the ENZO Trapper 95. The blade is 95 millimeters. And they had an ENZO Trapper 115, 115. It was a little longer, the blade, same thickness. This is 3.5, 3.2 millimeters. Not as thick as I like my blades. And the handle is G10. Now overall it's not a bad knife. I actually like it, it works very well, and the price was competitive, so I decided to simply buy one and try it. And I tried it, then I bought different knives and found out that the only problem I had with this knife was the handle. Now remember, if you watched my previous videos, you know that I have large hands and the handle is way too thin. The scales here, although the shape is very good, but if you have small hands or medium-sized hands, that's going to be okay. For larger hands, it's simply too small, too thin. So when I'm using it, after a few minutes, my hands are aching, which doesn't happen when I'm using knives with thicker handles. And that's sad, because the knife itself is great. The steel is great. There was a high carbon version, I guess it was D2, which is not exactly high carbon, but it's a very hard steel, very good steel. I went for stainless for the same reason. I went for stainless from most of my knives. I just want to do as little maintenance as possible when I'm out camping. So yes, it was sad, but the knife is great. The sheath is absolutely great. It's probably the best one I've seen on a production knife. It's comparable to the Castrum SFK sheath that I showed you. It's one of my first videos. You can find it on my channel. It's great leather. It's not stiff. It's not too soft. It's very thick. The stitching is great. This is a great sheath. So that's not a problem at all. You get a great sheath when you buy this knife. The knife itself is very good. The handle is just too small for me, too short. It's also too short for me. You see that my little finger here tends to go right here on this corner, on this angle, and I don't like that. I like longer handles and thicker handles. That's the most important thing. Then I went for the, oh, that's my camera, it's a reflection. The blade is great, it's shiny, although there are a few scratches because I had to use it, you know, I don't collect knives. And the steel was very good, no problems at all. It holds an edge without a problem, so you don't have to sharpen it too often. And the fact that it's a full flat, to me, is a better choice. But of course, there was and there is a Scandi version, so you can pick the one you like. Something that you can see on this knife and on, well, all my knives actually, I don't like guards, which are protective. Yes, they're protective. You won't cut yourself when you use the knife if there's a guard. But let me tell you that you won't cut yourself if you pay attention to what you do. And guards tend to get in the way, at least in my opinion. Sometimes I want to hold the knife like this, and where there's a guard here, and it's just useless. Again, a great knife, the ENZO Trapper. Check their website, Brisa. I'll put a link in the description. I don't think the larger model is available anymore, but this one is perfect for bushcraft, for camping. It's a classic knife. The handle, again, check your hands. Think about your hands. If you have very large hands, it might not be the knife for you. Let me know what you think of this knife, if you have it, or if you want to try one. And let me know what you think of the video. Thank you for watching. I'm your uncle.